Hi class. Today we are going to learn how to use a website that I would like us to use on a regular basis so that we can learn our music theory. The first thing you have to do is open up your web browser. So that could be Safari, Firefox, Chrome, whatever you're used to. And then you're going to type into the address bar at the top up here the web address for this site, and it is musictheory.net. Once you've typed it, press enter, and it's going to take you to this website. I think this website is a very helpful website for us to learn some different things about theory and to practice with some tests following up these lessons. We are going to look and explore this website first, and then we are going to do one of the lessons. So, under lessons, if you click in the top left corner, you can see that there's a long list here of the basics of music theory. You can scroll down. It's going to teach us about rhythm and meter, scales and key signatures, intervals, chords, diatonic chords, chord progressions, Neapolitan chords. So some of these things are way over our heads and we probably won't reach them until the end of high school. But for now, we're very interested in the staff, clefs, and ledger lines. We are going to come back to this lesson after we look through the rest of our website. Next to lessons, we can click on exercises. At the top, we have staff identification. So once we learn from the lessons, we will look at the exercises and we will practice the things we've learned. Then we have keyboard identification, fretboard identification for those that are interested in the guitar, ear training, and there are some things for teachers. Now there are tools like calculators and utilities. So if you need some staff paper or if you need something to keep the tempo for you, you can click on tools and it will help you as you're trying to keep the beat or you're trying to write some music. You can use these tools. And over here at the end, we just have products, news, and contact information. If you're ever interested in contacting this website, you have some questions for them, or why can't you hear the exercises, maybe the sound went out. This is where you can contact them. So we're going to go back over to lessons in the left-hand corner, and we're going to click on the first staff, clefs, ledger lines. If you are interested in learning about each bulleted note here, you click on it. The first one is highlighted for us. It says the staff is the foundation upon which notes are drawn. And in the top half, it will show a picture of what they are talking about. So I am going to review these things for us today, or teach these things for us today, so that we can review tomorrow in class. So the first bullet, the staff is the foundation upon which notes are drawn, means that these 5 lines and 4 spaces, we can see 5 lines and 4 spaces, are what we draw all our music on. You've seen me draw this in class on the board every time we write music. Every line or space on the staff is represented by a white key on the keyboard. I use my piano on my iPad so that we can see these white keys when we're in class. So you see the red button is moving across all the white keys, and as it moves across the white keys, it moves across the lines and the spaces one by one. So each line and each space corresponds to a white key on the keyboard. The black keys will come later. The clefs on a music staff assign individual notes to certain spaces or lines. So this sign right here is the only sign we've seen so far. This is called the treble clef. The treble clef. The bass clef we haven't seen yet, but it's usually used with instruments in a lower range or with men who sing with lower voices. We're going to talk about the treble clef first. The treble clef, it wraps around the G line. The second line here that we talked about, we had line 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So the second line, 1, 2, goes right through the center of the treble clef. And this second line is labeled the G line. So sometimes the treble clef is also called the G clef. So we are going to learn our note names in a little bit, but for now, that is all we need to know. The ledger lines solve a problem when we run out of space on these 5 lines and 4 spaces. The ledger lines can help us write above or below the staff. So right now we have G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, like the alphabet. And say I wanted to keep writing notes that keep going above the staff. We're going to use a ledger line. It's a small little line that extends the staff when we run out of room. You see this line that just dropped down? So you don't continue a long line because that would add a 6th line and the staff only has 5 lines. But this ledger line is going to make it so that I can write one more note on the staff. So now I have another A. This is all we need to know for today. So in review, we have the staff. It has 5 lines and 4 spaces. Every line or space on the staff represents a white key on the keyboard. A clef is used to label our staff, and we have the treble clef is the clef that we're going to focus on. The treble clef can also be known as the G clef because it falls on the G line. Ledger lines solve our dilemma when we run out of space and we want to add another note. So it adds a line at the top or sometimes the bottom of the staff, and we can write a new note. Now that we have finished our lesson, we're going to go back to exercises, and we are going to look at one of these quizzes so that we can see how they work. Let's click on Note Identification. So when we want to do a quiz, we click on the first quiz, and this one is called Note Identification. Even though we did not discuss this right now, we're going to briefly do this together. The first note that we see here, we were following the names of the notes and the spaces. We'll follow from the G line, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, and B, and it used a ledger line, so we'll call it B, and it gave us our correct note and it played it for us. So again, we have another note. We had G, we go down, we have F sharp. We click the F sharp and it plays it for us. Then we have G, A, B again, and it plays it for us. Another F sharp, we just saw this one. And one more, we're going to have a D sharp. So every time you see the note, you click it down here at the bottom and it keeps your score at the top, 5 out of 5, 100%, and it keeps your time at the top and tells you how long it's taking you to do it. And the faster you do it, the better. So that is how we use our website. We can reset the score. So now we're at 0. We can reveal the correct answers if we need them. So this one is a B sharp. And we can give ourselves a new question if we need it. And that is how we use our music theory website. I will see you tomorrow in class and we will talk more about these things. Thank you so much, students. Have a great evening.